Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, it's time to get locked into the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Well. The Sooners? The little old Sooners? Are they back? Is Oklahoma back?
The little old Sooners. A sentence I never thought I would hear.
I'm being facetious, obviously. But, man, what a statement by Oklahoma on Saturday night in Knoxville, Tennessee. Because Grayson, all week leading up to that game, most everyone, including myself, was not terribly optimistic that Oklahoma was going to be able to go on the road and pull this out in front of 102,000 screaming Volunteer fans in Neyland Stadium. And boy, things got spooky early on. Tennessee was on the verge of just burying Oklahoma underneath an early avalanche. But behind timely plays from Owen Heineke, from R. Mason Thomas, from Peyton Bowen, from Robert Spears Jennings, from Xavier Robinson, and yes, from John Mateer, Oklahoma went and secured what, and I would love to hear your take on this, but they went and secured what to me is the most impressive win of the Brent Venables era from a circumstantial standpoint. Because my immediate thought walking away from that game on Saturday was, okay, that's number two. That's number two behind Texas in 2023. The Red River Shootout in 2023, going and winning that game in the fashion that they did. That's the best win of the Brent Venables era. But, man, the way that this team was able to go and silence the noise by walking the walk rather than talking the talk, by going into a hostile road environment in the SEC against a very talented opponent on both sides of the football and shutting up the whole building with a performance that was far from perfect, but that was resilient and ultimately good enough. Especially because it keeps Oklahoma alive in the college football playoff race, and especially because, man, it's just further evidence that Brent Venables hadn't quit on Oklahoma, and this team hadn't quit on Brent Venables. I think this is the biggest win of the BV era to date. Also because they don't win this game in 2022 or 2023 or 2024. You want to see progress? You want evidence that progress is taking place within this program? That win was evidence of it.
Location and context of the game matters in that discussion, and I think that is why it's the most impressive win of Brent Venables' tenure because, look, you're on the road. Yet you could say about the OU-Texas game, right? That's a neutral site. Nobody's at home there. You got the crowd split 50-50. This time you got 102K screaming up against you. So there's one. Context, I think, also matters here because you lose that game, you're not going to the college football playoff. You win it, you still got some hope. Now you got to go beat Alabama in 2 weeks. That's a topic for 2 weeks from now. Right now, you are still alive in the hunt to go to the CFP. So that matters too as to why this week was the most impressive. But I think the reason they don't win this game 2-3 years ago is because 2-3 years ago they didn't have a guy named Tate Sandell.
Amen to that.
2-3. I mean,
go off
for the last half decade or so. Oklahoma's kicking game has been so up and down and been so much of a roller coaster that they haven't been able to win games like this. Like I don't think people realize the gravity of what Tate Sandell is doing for Oklahoma because right now. Oklahoma is in a situation where your defense is going to play excellent. We know that. The defense even got them on the scoreboard. Now with Tate Sandell, you're in a situation where your offense that has been pedestrian for the majority of the season can go get 2 first downs, and you might be able to score if you get 2 first downs. And keep this in mind, too. The reason John Mateer's interception didn't come back to haunt Oklahoma, but by so much, is because Tate Sandel's 55-yard field goal made it a 2-score game.
Bingo.
Tate Sandel changed the entire calculus of this football game. He changed the entire calculus of how Tennessee had to navigate the second half. It changes the way that Oklahoma's offense can make boneheaded mistakes and still be okay, because there's no way on earth that John Mateer can take that 7-yard sack that he did. But Tate Sandel's there to bail you out, right? That's why Oklahoma wins that game. And Oklahoma doesn't win those games 2-3 years ago because they don't have a dude like that. So in all, the offense does just enough. The defense plays excellent. Special teams plays excellent. It's their most complimentary win of the season.
Greatest left foot in program history? Can we go that far?
I'm down with that.
Oklahoma's had some good kickers. I don't know if they've ever had a left-footed kicker as good as Tate Sandel. I think he hasn't even attempted 20 field goals yet as an Oklahoma Sooner. But I think it's pretty fair to already be having that discussion. He has made 18 kicks in a row. That is tied for a program record with Gabe Burrito Burkich. He has hit 4 times this season. 4 times, Grayson, from 55 yards. He has 4 55-yard field goals.
What's the record for a collegiate kicker from 55 yards out in a single season?
I don't know. I would love to know, though, because if he doesn't already hold that record, boy, he's getting close.
Somebody on the YouTube chat or the text line, hit us up with that.
Folks, there has never been a kicker at the FBS level or the NFL level, mind you, with more than 3 50-yard field goals in a single game. The fact that Tate Sandel hit 3 50-yard field goals in a single game on Saturday is impressive in and of itself. But the fact that he was able to do so in that environment, when so much of kicking, and anybody who does it and anybody who has done it can attest to this, so much of it is mental. And to be able to walk onto that field in the Hornets' nest, ice in your veins, and deliver time and again over the course of that football game from way downtown. Tate Sandel is an absolute assassin. I don't care that his pants don't even touch his knees. I don't think anybody does. Tate Sandel can wear whatever he wants if he's going to make every single kick he attempts for Oklahoma.
You know, I'll say this too. Kirk Herbstreit, you are going down a very unenviable path, because if you turn into grumpy old man, that's going to be a problem. Now, you want to know how close Oklahoma was? I thought about this morning. You want to know how close Oklahoma was to losing this game, Parker?
How close were they?
You have to go back to April 25th of this year, because that was the day in the spring portal that Tate Sandel committed to Oklahoma. Because coming out of the winter portal and going into spring practices, we got to remind people Tate Sandel was not on this roster.
No, he was not.
It took till after the debacle at the Crimson Combine. Remember, you came in and either said this on the airwaves that the kickers at the Crimson Combine looked very concerning.
Terrible. Terrible.
Just looked awful.
Austin Welch looked terrible.
It was Austin Welch, exactly. And you had to go back into the spring portal and be like, we can't roll with this. And that's how you end up with Tate Sandel. It's funny how these sorts of events end up coming around full circle, because without Tate Sandel and his leg, Oklahoma doesn't win that football game. That's an indisputable fact.
GB from the 918 says, you all are going to put the voodoo on our kicker if y'all don't quit talking. Brian and Bixby adds, stop talking about Sandel. Too much attention is going to jinx him. You folks cannot be serious right now. I promise you, if Tate Sandel starts missing kicks, it is not because he was a prominent topic of discussion on sports radio over the course of the bye week. Holy smokes.
One-star Colin Claremore says AB even took notice.
Yes, he did. Tate Sandel won an award.
He did win an award that
he
we
won
cannot
an award,
repeat on the air.
AB. I mean, we could, but...
Can we say that word on air now? I don't think
we couldn't. Not without the FCC limo showing up and getting canceled.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Tate Sandel is in the national spotlight, because when you kick as effectively as he kicked on Saturday night in Neyland Stadium, and you have as unique a wardrobe as Tate Sandel does in the process, your star is going to rise and rise quickly. And it has for Tate Sandel. Who would have thought? Who would have thought he would be the most impactful addition of Oklahoma's spring portal haul, because he has been. It's pretty uncontested at this point. Jermichael Carter is starting to play more. He's done some nice things. I mean, Jake Michaela has been stable as Oklahoma's starting center. Ricky Lolohea may not exist. Still have yet to receive confirmation that he is an actual human being. And, of course, Jaden Ott is Jaden Ott. Jaden Ott is basically he is non-existent right now. In effect, he is present on the sidelines. He is wearing the uniform on Saturdays, and that's really it. He did not record a snap on Saturday. Has not recorded a snap since he had one carry against South Carolina.
You say Tate Sandel's the best transfer portal addition. Are we vaulting him over Kendall Daniels at this point?
No, spring.
Oh,
portal
spring.
edition.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Gotcha.
Kendall Daniels, man, and I know it was Owen Heineke's night on Saturday, but Kendall Daniels has been a killer for Oklahoma. That entire front four, regardless of who's playing, Grayson, that entire front four is just devastating.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that R. Mason Thomas can miss the last 3 quarters of that football game, and you didn't really get the sense that Oklahoma missed a beat, honestly.
No, not really.
Which is crazy because R. Mason Thomas is an incredibly talented football player that is one of the meal ticket items for Oklahoma on that side of the ball, if not the meal ticket item. And Oklahoma played well enough up front that you didn't really miss him.
Nope.
All of Oklahoma's issues right now defensively are in the secondary. They got some things to figure out in that department.
Yeah, they do.
But linebackers are playing really well. Defensive front is playing really well. Everybody's getting in on the action, man. Danny Okoye had a sack.
I was just about to bring it up. Like right after R. Mason Thomas went down, it was like 2 or 3 plays later, we get a Danny Okoye sack.
And PJ coming up with a huge third down stop, chasing down Joey Aguilar from the backside of the play.
Yep.
Taylor Wine has been as consistent as they come all season for Oklahoma. Grayson Halton, Dominic Williams, David Stone, they were all up in those run lanes on Saturday. Oklahoma's front seven is the best in the country. The defensive secondary, they have their issues right now. Got to sort those out. If you do, and you're going to have to over the bye week because Ty Simpson is a really, really talented quarterback who will pick you apart if you don't cross your T's, dot your I's.
Especially with those receivers.
Yes. You're going to have to be ready for the matchup against Alabama in that department. But, man, Oklahoma wasn't perfect defensively on Saturday, but they made the plays it took to win. They weren't perfect offensively on Saturday, but they made the plays it took to win. And Xavier Robinson, I know he fumbled. That was maybe the lone stain on his performance in Neyland on Saturday night. But Xavier Robinson's in a groove. And if there's one guy, Grayson, that you would like to have playing his best football leading into the Alabama matchup specifically?
Yep, it's him.
How about the guy that pantsed Alabama last year?
It is 100% him. Hey, I will say this. I remember earlier in the year when we were talking about how the defense wasn't getting turnovers and people were like, hey, well, does it matter if you're not getting turnovers if you are just stopping people? How them turnovers feel. Those turnovers were big, weren't they? Peyton
Bowen getting his first career pick.
Which
enormous.
Completely slipped my mind that he had never had an interception.
Enormous, man. But, I genuinely do not think it is hyperbolic to say that Owen Heineke's strip sack of Joey Aguilar and the subsequent scoop and score by R. Mason Thomas might have saved the season. And
no, that is not hyperbolic at all.
And it might have saved the Brent Venables era because, boy, things were on the verge of getting really dangerous there. That building was a madhouse. Tennessee was knocking on the door, threatening to open up a 14-0 lead.
Yep.
If Owen Heineke and R. Mason Thomas don't combine to make that play, that entire game could have unfolded very differently. And it could have been a thrashing with the momentum that the Volunteers were actively gaining when Heineke and Thomas shut it down completely.
And that's the thing with plays like that, is that even if your defense is still really good, you're not going to not give up penetration the entire game. Like that's just unrealistic to expect.
David from Norman says a huge under-the-radar aspect of Saturday's game that I haven't heard anyone really talking about is the 2 onside kick recoveries. Without both of them, I'm afraid it could have been a very different outcome. Amen to that, David. And yeah, Robert Spears-Jennings reeled in 1 onside kick.
On a hard hop, too.
Yeah, it was a tough onside kick to field. A lot of dudes have messed that play up. Robert Spears-Jennings did not. And then Ivan Carrione. Ivan Carrione covered up the second desperation onside kick for Tennessee. Postal Sooner says, why hasn't anyone said anything about Robinson getting punched in the face mask before getting the ball punched out? I didn't catch that.
I did. I saw it on TV, and I don't think that's a flag. The defender punched down to go to football,
and
it
contacted the face
contacted
mask.
the face mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And end of the day, whether it hits the face mask or not, like, you got to hold on to the ball. And Xavier Robinson knows that, and he's not a guy that's been susceptible to fumbling in the past, and he still had a really strong game despite it. And, man, he's demonstrated that he can be an explosive runner. There's 2 straight weeks now we've seen him notch a rush of over 40 yards. So he can make it shake a little bit in the open field. But also, man, he runs tough. He runs physical. He pushes the pile forward. He's got great vision. He's got great patience. This is an SEC back right here in Xavier Robinson. And now that he is finally rounded into form and is playing his best ball and has the hot hand in the Oklahoma backfield, you would expect that, especially with what he did to the Crimson Tide last year in Norman, Oklahoma, he's going to touch the football a lot in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
On the other side of the bye.
3-star Glenn from Nashville, one more before we get out of here. I want to disagree that our secondary is having problems. Are they as good as the front 7? No. But take a look across the college football landscape on any given Saturday. The refs are calling such ticky-tack holds and PIs on secondaries that it's almost impossible to play safety and corner these days.
Yeah, okay, Glenn.
There's a measure of truth to that.
Yeah, I don't think you're completely wrong, but they're still not playing great football.
No.
They're not. And they got to clean stuff up. Got to. And some of the penalties are borderline, certainly. The first PI call on the 3rd and 15 to start the game, that ball wasn't anywhere close to catchable. That's not a flag that should have been thrown. But like the second PI call on Cortland Guillory, where Joey Aguilar just throws up the desperation heave down the field, like, that's the correct call in that context.
And even the first Guillory one probably have a case for holding before the snap, before the ball was thrown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's got to be less handsy, or at least know when you can be handsy. And you have to get your head around before you start initiating contact.
Now, here's the only thing I'll say about the secondary before we get out of here. How much better would they be if they could tackle?
Yeah, they
got to figure out how to tackle.
They got to start tackling.
And I love Guillory. I think Guillory is a superstar already, but he's 180 pounds. You ain't gonna knock anybody over with just your shoulder, homie.
Tackling can't be a bugaboo for this football team, and it really hasn't been outside of the Texas game and then on Saturday in Neyland State. Like, they haven't struggled to tackle outside of those 2 games. But that's got to be a blip and not a trend, because you deal with the type of explosive playmakers that are on the roster at Alabama, Missouri, and LSU without exception. You will get beat. Oklahoma right now very much on track to finish 9-3. If they go to Tuscaloosa and they can pull that road win off, there's a path to 10-2, a very clear path to 10-2, and a college football playoff berth at that. But got to do the easy stuff. Got to do the basic things that winning requires, and one of those things is tackling effectively. All right, folks, coming up on the other side, I'm going to introduce, as of this week, some fun little franchise elements to this show. They will vary by the day. The Monday franchise element that I'm excited to debut is called 0 Days Since Our Last Nonsense. The nonsense of the day, coming up here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Keep it here.
This is Deion Burks, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Every day, 32 people in the U.S. lose their lives in crashes involving a drunk driver. That's 1 life every 45 minutes.
The victims aren't just numbers. They are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters whose lives are forever changed.
From life-threatening injuries to years of recovery, the aftermath of a drunk driving crash can be devastating. If you or a loved one have been hurt by a drunk driver, you don't have to face it alone. call McIntyre Law at 405-777-7000.
Feeling stuck in your current home? Now is the best time to make a move. Home Creations is making home ownership more affordable with low interest rate opportunities and special financing. Don't wait. Live like a champion today. Call Holly at 405-364-9999 to find your dream home.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
Do you like to stand out in a crowd while wearing the best in OU apparel? The Jimmy Austin Pro Shop carries the best brands you can wear to work or even dress up events. Lines such as Lululemon, Travis Mathew, FootJoy, Greg Norman, Grayson, or Turtleson with the OU and Jimmy Austin logo are sure to catch everyone's eye. You don't have to be a golfer to shop at Jimmy Austin. They also do corporate special orders for you and your company. Call them today, 405-325-6716, or visit theougolfclub.com for more information.
Racing season is here at Remington Park. Giddy up and let's go racing. Thursday through Saturday with first post time at 6 p.m. Come feel the fastest fun around. Remington Park has the winning experience for everyone. Their casino is open 24 hours a day, and new members earn up to $50 of free play. Explore the excitement of the Oklahoma City casino scene with top games, dining, and entertainment options available. Remington Park Racing and Casino. Call 405-424-1000 or visit remingtonpark.com.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330.
At Confidence Ford of Norman, we believe in living up to our name. Our commitment to confidence is in everything we do. Whether you're searching for the perfect vehicle from our extensive selection of new Ford models or pre-owned cars, our dedicated team will help you every step of the way. Because with us, you're family. We're conveniently located at 825 North Interstate Drive. Confidence Ford of Norman, a Cavender Auto family dealership where confidence is Cavender.
Hi, Josh Helmer here for my friends at Auto Image USA in Norman, where they have everything you need to upgrade your ride. At Auto Image USA, they have so many services for you like paint correction, window tint, paint protection film, or maybe you want that boat, RV, or car looking brand new in the interior again with the top-of-the-line detailing. Plus, you can get their Enviro Shield paint and interior fabric protection backed by their 3 or 5 year warranty. Call them today, 405-321-4444. They are the best. Check them out.
What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and my team and I take time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for retirement or in need of auto, home, life, or business insurance, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit the Julia Chu Agency or call 329-3311. Come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, Norman.
I'm very curious to know if anybody else thinks this. On the Knibbelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439. A listener from the state of Texas just hit us up to say, don't mean to be rude, but you guys all sound like you smoked 3 packs of cigarettes this morning. It's the first time. Okay. That's the first time I've ever read a text like that.
I was going to say, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of weird stuff about my voice, including one texter in the 405 that I just responded with a thumbs up to. But I did not think I sounded like I smoked cigarettes.
Do we sound like we were ripping Marlboros this morning? Does anybody else feel that way? Just very curious. Doesn't really matter. Like, that's fine. Maybe it's allergies. Who knows? My voice isn't going to sound the exact same every single day. But interesting feedback there. Strange feedback, certainly. 405-651-3439 is the Knibbelmeyer Chevrolet text line. The show is brought to you today and every day by Dorsey Jones GMC out in El Reno. If you're in the market for a brand new vehicle, give Dorsey Jones a try because GMC offers some of the most reliable trucks and SUVs on the road today. And Dorsey Jones themselves can offer you fantastic service, including half-price oil changes on Saturdays at their family-owned and operated establishment. Dorsey Jones in El Reno. Postal Johnny says, you boys absolutely do not sound like you smoke cigarettes. Okay, maybe you got like a garbled radio signal? I don't know what the case may be, but basically all the feedback we've gotten in the last 30 seconds has been like, no, I don't know what that guy is talking about. So that's good to know. It's good to know. I don't feel like I sound any different today. So glad to know it's not me that's crazy here. Time for 0 days since our last nonsense, which, of course, is an element of the show that owes its name to the Office bit, which is a fantastic bit from a fantastic episode, as most episodes of The Office are. And, Grayson, the nonsense in question that we're going to discuss today is this tweet from an account on Twitter that belongs to, I don't even know how you would pronounce this, the handle that is. The person in question has a dinosaur photo as their avatar, what looks like an AI dinosaur.
Okay.
And goes by the name TJC22 on Twitter.
Cool.
This individual tweeted yesterday morning from Knoxville, Tennessee. Hotel lobby conversation next to me. Quote, we should fire Arbuckle and hire Hugh Freeze.
Who in the hell said that?
The things you overhear while eating breakfast at a hotel, I suppose. Good grief. Yeah, hire the guy that just scored 3 points against Kentucky and got fired. The guy that hitched his wagon to the Jackson Arnold experiment and is now out of a job because of it. I think Hugh Freeze might just be over the hill as a football coach. There comes a certain point in time in pretty much every coach's life. There are very, very few that can stand the test of time and be at the absolute top of their game into their 70s, even 80s. Nick Saban is a great example. I think Pete Carroll is a good example. But in general, 90 to 95% of the time, there comes a point with every football coach at which you got to have the old Yeller conversation, right? Like, man, it might just be time to hang it up. I don't know if Hugh Freeze has it anymore. And to me, first off, you want to move on from Ben Arbuckle. I'll just give you the spoiler right now. That ain't happening. The Sooners are 7-2 and fighting for a college football playoff berth. No one is actively on a scalding hot seat right now. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's back next year. I do think there will be some tweaks made to the staff. But at least as far as the coordinators are concerned, in general, you're not moving on from coordinators when your football team is having the success that Oklahoma's football team is having. And by the way, the Sooners have figured out the run game the last couple of weeks. Wasn't that the big criticism of Arbuckle there for a month plus was, man, why can't we run the ball? Why can't we run the ball between the tackles? What do we got to do to get our backs going? They've gotten the backs going ever since the Texas game. Torrey Blaylock went for 100-plus against South Carolina, and Xavier Robinson has gone for 100-plus each of the last 2 weeks. Somebody on the text line asked, who's RB3 right now? I mean, it's probably Jaden Ott for lack of an alternative because it doesn't seem like Javonte Barnes is going to play the rest of the year, and Taylor Tatum is still in Whitsec. So your RB3 by default is Jaden Ott, but Jaden Ott's not going to see the field if Xavier Robinson and Torrey Blaylock continue to, A, stay healthy, and B, play as well as they have played.
Let me ask you this. We didn't see a whole lot of run for Torrey Blaylock on Saturday.
No, we didn't.
What's the deal with that?
Combination of two things. One, he's a little bit banged up. Hurt, not injured, but he's a little banged up. And two, Xavier Robinson just had the hot hand, man, and that was apparent early, and as long as he's having the success that he was having on the ground, I mean, he averaged over 7 yards per carry.
He did.
Rushed for 115 yards on 16 totes. That's the guy you roll with. He played 60 of 66 snaps, as he should have. You absolutely have to roll with the hot hand if you got one. And for the last couple of weeks, Xavier Robinson has been the hot hand. Torrey Blaylock's still going to be in the mix. It's not like Torrey Blaylock is going to vanish from the game plan. He's proven his worth. But it would stand to reason that your lead back going into the Alabama game at the very least is Xavier Robinson. Because he has been awesome. Awesome the last couple of weeks.
You know who else I think has been awesome the last couple of weeks? Or this week? How about EPL? How about EPL in the run blocking game?
Gosh, he's so much fun.
Yeah.
He's so much fun.
I thought he was moving furniture.
That's what he does, man. He's one of the absolute strongest players on that entire roster.
Yeah, you can see it.
I mean, everybody was kind of enamored with the viral video from his high school career where he's running sub-13 in the 100-meter dash at like 320 pounds. But Eddie Pierre-Louis' calling card has always been his strength. That was the main reason why he was a borderline 5-star, according to Rivals in the 2024 class. That was the main reason why Oklahoma was willing to play the game with him all the way up until signing day. Because if you'll recall, he waffled back and forth between Oklahoma and UCF, all the way until literally 5 days before signing day in December of 2023. And there were certain players with which Oklahoma would have just packed it in with. You know, they would have said, okay, you go to UCF, whatever. It's not worth all this trouble. Oklahoma fought the battle to the bitter end with Eddie Pierre-Louis because this is what they envisioned. A guy that was going to find his niche at guard and, to use your verbiage, start moving furniture in the SEC.
And he's doing it. He's doing it really well.
Helms' blocking was great to watch, mentioned Puerto Rican Sooner on the text line. Amen. He's been a revelation for the run game.
You think we see more of him?
Yes, especially because, I mean, correlation doesn't equal causation. Obvious disclaimer there, but there's been more of an effort to establish the traditional run game the last 3 weeks, and what have you seen in conjunction with that? A huge increase in Caden Helms' usage. And he's the best blocking tight end that Oklahoma has.
Yeah, I would say you should continue to run with him. One-star Colin Claremore. Parker, please tell us about Jonas Muya.
Ooh, on that note, okay, offensive line recruiting. I wasn't going to address this today. I was going to let it simmer for a couple of days to try to get a better sense of where this all was going. But yes, I need to introduce you to a name. And that name is Jonas Muya. He is from La Lumiere School in LaPorte, Indiana. He is a 2026 prospect, a graduating senior. He is 6'7", 280 pounds. He is an offensive lineman. He holds 3 Power 4 offers thus far. He's a late riser. His stock has only really started to pick up here very recently. Those 3 Power 4 offers are West Virginia, Cincinnati, and Minnesota. I am here to tell you that Oklahoma may very well be the 4th. Because Oklahoma is engaged with Muya, who may in a certain sense be the new Daniel McMorris, right? Oklahoma made a push for McMorris there for a little while because they felt like they needed another offensive lineman or two in the class. They have Noah Best. They have Deacon Schmidt. Those two are great football players. They're going to be early impact guys at Oklahoma in all likelihood. But they would like more depth. And so after McMorris went to Cal, after it became apparent that McMorris was going to Cal, Oklahoma started to explore the board a little bit more. Explore the open market, and a guy that came to their attention was Jonas Muya. Sir William E. Beedenbow, I am told, is going to be visiting La Lumiere School in LaPorte, Indiana this Friday to visit with Jonas Muya. Assuming Oklahoma offers, I would think there's going to be a pretty high percentage chance that they get this done. Minnesota, West Virginia, Cincinnati. I mean, you like your chances if you're an Oklahoma fan, engaged in a recruiting battle with those 3 schools. And this kid, man, he's a very Jim Nagy type of offer. Because you want to talk about traitsy, he is traitsy. 6'7", 280. How about this, though? A wingspan of 7'4".
He has incredibly long arms. Incredibly long arms. Very athletic build, too. Basketball player, so he's very nimble, moves well. He hasn't settled in, I think, into being a football player yet.
And he probably won't
exactly
for a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
He's a project type of guy. He's a guy that you're going to need to develop, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You need developmental projects in your group. You need guys that aren't going to come in with the expectation that they're going to see the field right away and cause problems because they have that unrealistic expectation. You need guys who are willing to come in with the acknowledgement that, hey, I'm not where I need to be as a football player to be able to make an impact in the SEC. I'm just going to put my head down and work for 2-3 seasons to get where I need to go, and I'm going to trust that if I put in that work under Bill Bedenbaugh's tutelage, I'm going to make an impact for this football team eventually, and the development that I'm going to get here will set me up to be able to potentially have a future in the NFL. And so it's great to have early impact guys like Ryan Foje and Michael Fasusi and Eddie Pierre-Louis, but you also you got to have guys that buy into the developmental plan as opposed to the microwave plan. For some guys, it's realistic to expect, hey, I'm going to be on the field as a true freshman or a redshirt freshman. It's not the case for everybody. That's probably not going to be the case for Jonas Muya, but him being a converted hooper, and also just the reality that Oklahoma's going to be, if they choose to offer, they're going to be a better offer than any other school on his sheet right now. I think that's the type of thing that he's going to be able to get on board with. Okay, folks, 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Hit us up there. We will get to more of your texts, opinions, questions, comments, thoughts, all of the above. Here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Coming up next.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland and Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
For the cost of a round of golf or a nice dinner out, you can have peace of mind that your lung health is in check. That peace of mind, it's a $75 lung scan performed in November at Norman Regional. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and our lung experts want you to know that early lung cancer detection saves lives. Visit normanregional.com/lung-scan or call 405-307-2290 to schedule your discounted $75 lung scan.
With OG&E's Energy Efficiency Program, we'll provide the blueprint for lowering your bill and increasing your comfort. Whether it's tuning heat and air units, caulking and weather stripping drafty doors and windows, insulating your attic, or connecting you with valuable rebates, you'll improve efficiency and save money with no out-of-pocket costs. Learn more at oge.com/efficiency. At OG&E, we energize life.
Hey, this is Tyler McComas with The Rush, and I just wanted to share a personal story with how much Cavens Group helped out my family. Earlier this year, we got a call from my mother-in-law, and she said, well, my living room is completely flooded, and I don't know what's going on. She's had dementia for a few years now, so she was confused. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know who to call. So we called Cavens Group immediately. Gary and the team answered right away, and the same day, they were at her house resolving the issue. They understood her situation, they worked with her, and they were just awesome throughout the entire process. I cannot say enough nice things about what Cavens Group did for me and my family. They can help you as well in your time of need. They service the entire state of Oklahoma, central and southern Kansas as well, With a location coming to Wichita, Kansas in mid-November, Cavens is always on the call. They answer immediately, and they do the job right the first time. Cannot recommend them enough. 405-573-3048 or cavensgroup.com.
CallBrianSmith.com is your 24/7 access to the best car and home insurance in Oklahoma. We specialize in making the process simple, fast, and affordable while still keeping that trusted local touch. Ready to save money on your coverage needs? Call BrianSmith.com at 918-481-7283 or visit us on Facebook and tune into our podcast, Get Canceled, on iTunes or Spotify. Call BrianSmith.com, your easy button for insurance in Oklahoma.
Lake Crest Casino and Hotel is the perfect getaway in Ardmore, Oklahoma, where fun, comfort, and entertainment all come standard. Stay in our luxurious 89-room hotel or treat yourself to our resort-style pool with outside bar, enjoy fine dining in our restaurant, or try your luck in our casino. The Oasis Boutique offers something for everyone. Plan your next getaway at Ardmore's newest destination for luxury, excitement, and unforgettable fun at LakeCrestCasino.com or call 580-222-2910.
Discover the path to sobriety, emotional well-being, and lasting positive change with the Virtue Center, a nonprofit serving Oklahoma since 1972. Specializing in addiction, gambling, and mental health-related services, we offer same-day walk-in screening appointments Monday through Friday and serve ages 12 and up, as well as individual clients or families. Give us a call at 405-321-0022 or visit thevirtuecenter.org to learn more.
Final segment of Locked In here on a Monday. Parker, Thune, Grayson, Singleton, and all of you on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. 405-651-3439. Caleb Hawkins' watch is definitely going to be a thing throughout December and early January. Because, boy, Caleb Hawkins, if you're not familiar with this name yet, somehow, you ought to get familiar. He is having a sensational true freshman season down at the University of North Texas. Caleb Hawkins is a native of Shawnee, Oklahoma. North Texas was his only FBS offer out of high school. He is 6'2", 200 pounds. A product of North Rock Creek High School out in Shawnee. And he is having the type of season that is going to get him paid if he decides to enter the transfer portal at the end of the season. Now, in talking with sources close to that process, I have been told, do not consider it a sure thing that Hawkins is going to get in the portal because well, for one thing, he enjoys being the guy at North Texas. And he has a very close relationship, naturally, with his running backs coach there at UNT. Tecumseh, Oklahoma native, Patrick Cobbs. But Caleb Hawkins, for a North Texas team that is going to be in the mix as the G5 auto bid to the college football playoff, Grayson, ran for 197 yards and 4 touchdowns this past Saturday as North Texas knocked off previously undefeated Navy, and I would say kind of seized the bull by the horns in the race for that G5 auto bid. Caleb Hawkins is a guy, and I can tell you this with 1,000% certainty, talking to folks on the OU side of things. If he is in the transfer portal this window, he will be receiving a call from the University of Oklahoma very quickly. If his name appears in the transfer portal, he will be getting a call from someone in the building, someone in the Switzer Center, pronto. But on the year, 744 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry.
OU would be derelict in their duties if they didn't give him a call as soon as he entered the portal. I mean, you see these stories all the time. The leap from G5 to the Power 4, and all of a sudden, you're an impact player there. No, they would absolutely have to give him a call.
405-651-3439. Again, that's the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Minnesota Sooner says, so basically we just need to fire DeMarco Murray and bring in the UNT running backs coach. Deal. I mean, if you really, really feel like you need Caleb Hawkins on the roster at the University of North Texas, I would say find a spot on staff for Patrick Cobbs, and you're probably good to go. But Patrick Cobbs is also an alumnus of the University of North Texas, one of the most decorated football players that the Mean Green have rostered in the 21st century. So he's kind of a local legend there. Could be their head coach one day. Eric Morris is probably going to get a better job here in the next month or so. So I don't know if that's going to be as easy as it may sound at face value. Oh, yeah, we'll just hire North Texas's running backs coach. Might not be that easy. But, man, it also comes down to how much do you feel like you need Caleb Hawkins? I guess you'd like to have Caleb Hawkins, but how badly do you need Caleb Hawkins?
Which is a good question to ask because when it comes to guys coming out of the portal, you're going to be paying higher premiums for them. And if you're already set with Torrey Blaylock and Xavier Robinson and you're content there, you don't want to spend free agent money on a dude who's going to be the third guy. Maybe not the third guy, but he is going to be a third addition to a backfield that you already feel okay about. If that is the case, you'd probably be wiser to spend the dollars elsewhere.
On the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, Scary Gary says, can you please explain the redshirt rule? I see Marvin Jones Jr. only played 4 games his freshman year. Is there a cutoff to apply for a redshirt that year? Like, could he possibly come back next year? I can't find anything about it on the internet. A D-line with Okoye, Wine, PJ, and him proved to be solid. Well, I don't know where you're seeing Marvin Jones Jr. only played 4 games his freshman year at Georgia. He played 13 games at Georgia as a true freshman. So he is going to be out of eligibility at season's end. But yes, basically, you can apply a red shirt to one season of yours. I'm pretty sure at any point, like I don't know that there's a cutoff or a deadline on it, but basically, if you don't play more than 4 games in a season, that year can be designated as a redshirt year. So, what you will see with, at this point, a pretty high degree of regularity is you will see certain guys that play 4 games and then they're done for the year. Maybe they're youngsters that a program like Oklahoma doesn't need to put on the field, and so you get them 4 games worth of experience, and then you put them on the shelf the rest of the year to save their eligibility. There are also certain guys, and obviously there are certain guys on Oklahoma's roster right now that are taking advantage of this. There are certain guys that play 4 games, decide, I'm going to save this year of eligibility of my own volition, and they just come to the conclusion that I'm not going to touch the field again this year. So,
business choices.
Business decisions. J-Dub Sooner says, I do not feel okay with our running back room. Need turnover, specifically coaching. A couple games doesn't make a season. P.S. Upgrades should always be entertained. Yes, they should, and certainly Caleb Hawkins is going to be an upgrade over, like a Taylor Tatum, for instance. But, especially if it is true, as has been indicated to me, that Caleb Hawkins enjoys being the guy at North Texas. First off, is he going to be the guy at Oklahoma? At this point, your conclusion would probably be no guarantee there. With how Torrey Blaylock has played, with how Xavier Robinson has played, and keep in mind, like Xavier Robinson, to an extent, is kind of cut from the same physical cloth as Caleb Hawkins. Robinson's got a bit more meat on his bones, but the Sooners have a 6'2" running back. They got a big-bodied back that can get nasty between the tackles, but can also get out there in the open field and outrun dudes. So, if the crux of your backfield moving forward is going to be the Robinson and Blaylock law firm, well then, it may be a tougher sell to a guy like Hawkins if he can't come in with the expectation that he's going to be the feature back necessarily.
And again, you would be overpaying at that point. If Blaylock,
Probably so.
If Blaylock and Robinson are going to be your top 2 and you want to add Hawkins, you're going to be paying an absurd premium for a dude that's going to be your second or third back. Not worth it.
James in Lawton wants to know, is Ozida hurt or being outplayed by EPL? To the best of my knowledge, no, Heath Ozida not hurt. It feels like Oklahoma, ever since the South Carolina game, has wanted to get Eddie Pierre-Louis more involved. And at this point, he's looking like the guy at left guard for Oklahoma. I mean, he hasn't done any. And to be clear, like I don't think Heath Ozida did anything on his end to lose that job. But for the same reason that I'm not convinced Derek Simmons is back starting at right tackle whenever he's healthy again, I'm not convinced that you see Heath Ozida make another start the rest of the season, because Eddie Pierre-Louis has shown you what he needs to show you in order to inspire confidence that he is and can be your long-term solution at that position. Right now, you have 3 freshmen, 2 true freshmen and a redshirt freshman in Fasusi, Foje, and EPL that look like the foundation of your offensive line for the next couple of seasons at the University of Oklahoma. That is your future, and the future has arrived early.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. You get, as long as they're playing well and they don't show you any necessity to put the veteran back in, you got to roll with them, especially with the fact that Derek Simmons, and I don't mean to make light of this, but I literally mean, keeps getting banged on the head. Like, I mean, there's no reason to run him back out there. On the YouTube chat.
We are on YouTube, by the way.
Tanner says, instead of investing money potentially into a Caleb Hawkins, invest that money on playmaking wide receivers. And I do think they hit on one. They definitely hit on one playmaking wide receiver this year in the portal with Satania. Lewis, I'd say, was a pretty good addition. I don't know if I'd say that's a bona fide hit. But they've done well with receivers in the portal.
I think Lewis was a bona fide hit. I just don't know if that's going to be reflected in the statistics at the end of the year because he's had to battle injuries. But
that's the reason I say I wouldn't say he's a bona fide hit.
I mean, to me, like Keontez Lewis is better than Giovanni Gibson from what I've seen.
I have no way to dispute that.
Now, if evidently that was not the case in the spring, so I don't know how much changed for Gibson after he suffered that injury, but Keontez Lewis is a guy I can't wait to see back on the field against Alabama because I think Jermichael Carter as well, to my eyes, are both better than Giovanni Gibson.
Okay.
I've been encouraged.
Lewis for sure.
Yeah. I've been encouraged by what I've seen from Jermichael Carter. Just in terms of the way he moves, man. He moves a lot better. Maybe it's just me. You can tell me if I'm wrong on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. But to me, I like the way Jermichael Carter moves a lot better than the way Giovanni Gibson moves, which those were not words I expected to be saying in November, but here we are.
Larry from Cashin says, EPL may not be the most technically sound player on the line, but he's damn sure the meanest guy on the O-line, which is how every offensive lineman should be. Amen to that. And no, he's not the most technically sound. I mean, he just looks like he's out there running his head into somebody and, again, trying to move furniture. And hey, you need a guy like that.
A 405 listener noted that Jermichael Carter, did drop the interception. Yeah, he did. He did. That's unfortunate that happened. But I'm encouraged by what I've seen from Jermichael Carter. There's something there. And to me, Grayson, it was very, very clear at the end of last season that Oklahoma needed to completely revamp their wide receiver room in the transfer portal. I mean, that was blatantly obvious because the answers weren't there on the roster, at least not the answers for 2025. You had to make changes in that wide receiver room. I do feel pretty confident, though, that if Oklahoma just completely ignored the wide receiver position in the transfer portal, and to be clear, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll add a guy or two. But if they just completely ignored the wide receiver position in the transfer portal, I think they would be fine. Because, and I am operating under the assumption there that Satania comes back for his senior season.
Right.
Which is, I mean, I'll continue to operate under that assumption, I should say, until I have reason to believe otherwise. But I like Jermichael Carter. I like Zion Kearney. I like Elijah Thomas. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Jacob Jordan because I like Jacob Jordan. And there will be some guys that are gently shown the door at season's end. There will be a culling of the fold, as it were, amidst the current bodies in that room. But, I mean, heck, man, I also think, let's say Oklahoma pulls off the flip of Jaden Petit from Wisconsin. I think that's a dude that's going to play a role next year. And so, I think the pieces are there in the the wide receiver room right now. I think the pieces are there, And there are some guys that with the growth that I expect to see from them over the course of the offseason, they're going to be able to play a much larger and more critical role in this offense in 2026. I feel good about the future of that room right now. All right, folks. That's all she wrote on this Monday installment of Locked In. Coming up next, Tyler and Ted are going to break down the Tennessee game from every imaginable angle, as they do each Monday, following an OU football game, especially a win. A climactic road win at that? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fun show. You're going to want to stick around for the rush here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. We will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Stay here.